It's time for the third set of LEGO Minifigure Habitats from the LEGO CMF Space Series 26. So here we have one of the latest one, which was the spacewalking astronaut, well-received habitat. And today we're going to do 3 habitats for 3 more kind of futuristic kind of minifigure. We have the nurse android, we have the robot chef, I think it's called, and the retro space heroine, which is partnered with one other minifigure that I will show you later on from a previous series of minifigures for which I already did an habitat that I will link down below. So let's move this to the side and let's start to work from the nurse. So here I'm gonna do a sort of similar habitat to this one. That's why I'm still keeping this so we can sort of compare. But the color scheme will be white and blue, again following the color of this minifigure, even though I'm going for a regular blue, not for this shade of, I guess, azure that the minifigure has. So I'm going to build a sort of back wall following this color scheme at the back. So this is our usual 8x8. I have a little bit of extra studs here at the back. Later we'll see why. And I have over here a sort of glass panel to which we can look into this nursery. Over here, I'm going to build another wall. And then on this side, I'm going to use the same technique that I use over there to have the tiles with the stars. This time, I wanted to make a bigger window. But then because over here, we have, of course, the studs that interrupt the stars, I decided to add some grill pieces. And then I'm just going to close everything off. So this is going to strengthen the whole habitat and keep everything there. I'm going to add a sort of first aid kit here to the wall with this old printed tile. And I'm going to decorate the wall on this side with these printed tiles. I don't recall exactly from which set they come from, but I actually used these two already for another space-related habitat. That was the one for this space baby. This is another habitat that you can find on my channel. And that was the habitat that goes together with the orc and with the falconer. I think the best habitats from the series 24. Now, let's move on. So here I'm going to add some equipment to take care of the baby. So here we have a changing table with some diapers on top. So the space baby can be changed over here, something like this. I'm going to add a sort of fridge. Over here we have some additional bottle of milk or formula that we're going to add over here following that same color scheme. And here at the front is where we're going to add the nurse. I want to add, sorry about that, I want to add the parents of the babies looking outside. So I have 2 sort of classic minifigure that are going to connect over there. And they are going to look inside to the babies. So we have the brown one as well. So they're looking over there. And then I need to create a place for these babies. So I'm going to add a little bit of padding at the bottom. And I'm going to use this sort of transparent bassinet to which the baby can go in. And actually you can see the ends fit just nice into the space there for the studs. So I'm going to add the pink baby over here. And then I can add the blue baby as well with another similar coat that is going to connect over there. So now we have a very nice and interesting scene. We can try to remove the cheese loop and connect this to the spacewalking habitat. I think this goes quite well together, either right or left, you can switch them up. But of course then the aim is to have then the whole pyramid with all of these habitats from this series all together. Now let's try to find a space to move these 2 on the side and move on to one that is maybe the most challenging one, which is the retro space heroine that come also with this sort of robotic dog. And this was an habitat that gave me a lot of headache. So I try to go with a different color scheme. So I have this sort of light yellow. I'm using this because I don't have any tiles in these colors. I only have these big long bricks. I decided to brick build the floor and then build up on the side. So over here we're gonna come up with this I'm mixing this steel with this yellow and mostly this shade of pink on top. Over here I had to use a different color because again I was running out of this color. I basically use all of them in this habitat. Here I'm gonna add another arch upside down, so this is gonna be like this, and then I'm gonna finish up the decoration with these big round tiles that are gonna sort of frame this kind of window, to which I want to add this interesting cloth piece. I don't know whether it will look like a sort of curtains or like an actually purple sky at the back. So here I'm gonna need to use some bricks to hold it into place at the bottom and at the top as well. So this is kind of helping me to keep it in place. Of course, I need to be very careful in the placement. I should have done this probably before starting the video, but I want to show you how everything is done. And as I said, this is one of the most fragile habitats probably that I ever made. But anyway, it works. More difficult, even more on this side. So here I'm gonna build a piece of wall on the side, and then from there I'm gonna go on top. Here I have this structure, and over here I'm using this connection to reverse the direction of the studs. So this is gonna connect like this. It's connected only there, so everything here is very flimsy. And then on top of this, I'm gonna add this build for a upside down arch piece. And also because of this, I have a studs coming out here. That means that I cannot connect this habitat to any habitat on the side over there. On top, I will need to try to make this a little bit stronger, and then connect everything with this arch with one additional tile over there. So now we have this interesting sort of window, and then on the back side I'm gonna have a wall to which I can add the guns of these two characters as a sort of decoration to the wall. So I'm gonna have the gray one and the golden one that come with this minifigure, and this is gonna connect there at the back. It's gonna slide in and create additional nice decoration on the back side of this habitat. So now it is pretty interesting, but now I need to add details. So one detail is a sort of screen. This is a sticker from some avatar set, which is the set that you saw in my Space Cantina build. This is gonna connect over there, and then I'm gonna illegally try to push it down a little bit. Again, let's see if we can do this on camera. Gonna slide it down a bit. Okay, I think we can leave it like this for now. Then I'm gonna add a small table on the back side over there. On top of it, I'm gonna add a plant. Interesting broom green piece. Fits the theme quite well. Here is the original character that is gonna be sipping on a cup here. So again, because I don't have any modified bricks there, I cannot connect this sofa properly to the floor or to the wall, so it's just lying there, so it's there chilling. And then I thought we can give some feeding to this dog, even though it's a robotic dog, so I guess he shouldn't drink anything, but we're gonna give him some milk. So the idea is to have the Space Heroine feeding the dog. So here we have this interesting piece to which we can get the heroine to pour the milk and then taking care of the dog like so. So as I said, I think this looks pretty amazing, but it's a real pain to put together. So let me know what you think in the comments down below about this one. By the way, I actually have a different idea for this one, as you can see on screen now. This is a snippet of my weekly vlog video for the Dreamers member in my membership program, where they can see a little bit of the behind the scene of the thought process that goes behind my habitat creation. Anyway, let's move this to the side and let's build the last habitat for the chef. So here I went for a gray color scheme. So here I have this structure to which at the back I want to create a sort of kind of pantry. Now, this one also is a little bit flimsy until I connect everything. Then everything will work quite well. This is actually pretty solid habitat. So here we have a light gray and dark gray, and here we have a sort of pantry where it's gonna store some of the goods. We have also some sort of control panel for the door. On the back side, I have some shelving. I'm gonna add a carrot there. Over there, we already have a watermelon. This is just gonna be an additional connection on the back side, like so. It gets a little bit dark, but actually, if you look at this in real life, it's not that dark. I'm gonna add a cover, interesting cover here with this panel on top, like so. And I thought also maybe inside I can add a pineapple and a glass bottle over here on the side, calling a little bit of green to call a little bit to the green of the minifigure, even though it's a different shade. Initially, I thought I could use this without, but I think the yellow doesn't look so good. And I thought I use another one of these pieces in a different color as a sort of lamp that goes inside there. Actually, let's see if we can connect it. I can show you from the back side. It's probably better. So we can remove this. I have an anti-stud over there to which I can connect the Technic pin over here, like so. Now we can put back this, connect there, put back the carrot, put back the pineapple, and now we are moving. We are gonna add the next part of the habitat. So here is a sort of fridge container with some stove on top, and then we have another cooking station over here on this side. Later we are gonna add a little bit of accessories, but first let's add the back wall. Very simple, very straightforward. It's gonna be like this. I have another additional part. This is some spring shooter kind of thing that has a very interesting detail. And I decided to add a nice round window to make this wall more interesting. It's going to connect there in that 1x5. So I think this looks pretty good now. The chef is going to be sitting, he's going to be standing here at the front. And now we can add a little bit of decoration. So I have a pan that connects over there to the jumper with an egg inside. So there is some cooking going on. Maybe I should connect the pan first, like so. Again, here we have some printed control panel. Over here, I'm gonna add a wand that it can be some sort of tool in this kitchen area. And then I have a bigger pot that is gonna sit on that red stove over there. I'm still not too sure about the red stove, but I think this habitat needed a little bit of contrast. And then we can have a little bit of steam coming up from the stove and then connect the chef again back in the middle. So here is the finished set of the 3 habitats for this week. We have 3 more coming next week, so stay tuned for the last series of habitat. I will put a link down below to these and more minifigures that you can find on Amazon US as a way to support the channel. Otherwise, as usual, I would appreciate a like, a comment, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet. And if you want to follow some other content on my channel, last week I posted a review from the point of view of a mock builder of the LEGO House exclusive minifigure tribute, which is the upscale pirate minifigure. Very interesting set, very interesting building techniques. So if you want to check it out, you can click the link here on screen. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Ciao, ciao.